Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to North Wick. So look at this, it's like summer's come. We're going to make the most of this nice weather and spread a load of fertiliser. Our fertiliser spreader is actually broken. It actually decided to break down the same day we had the demo one from Mason's here. So we've got a higher one from Wilcocks, who are currently in the process of fixing ours, but I'm a bit worried ours is going to take quite a while to fix. So I'll show you the spreader we've got on hire. It's identical really to ours, other than a bit of software. I don't know why we don't ever turn the lights off on the manitou. Right, that's the pipes off. Stick the old pallet forks on. Get some fert in the spreader. So here's the spreader we got on hire. Like I say, it's pretty well the same as ours. One big difference is it hasn't got mud guards there. If I take you around the other side, so this is where ours has gone wrong in here. In behind here there's a control panel with a motherboard and a load of electronics. Our motherboard on ours has had a power surge from somewhere and it's basically wiped it, it's fried it. So that's off being repaired at the minute. They're going to have a new motherboard, which might not be overly expensive, but it's the time in getting it here and not having the spreader. This machine doesn't have section control like ours does. So although it's still a nice machine to use, obviously section control just makes my life so much easier when filling in triangles and odd bits. But it's fine, we're going to go and do something in the silage ground. We've got Nitram here, 34.5% N from CR Fertilisers. So we're going to spread that at 232 kilos per hectare. We'll put a couple bags in and go and do a bit and see how we get on. You see, I washed it all out after I used it the other day. I like to wash them out if I know I'm not going to use them the following day, just because fertiliser is so corrosive. It'll rust any bit of metal it can, given the chance. So it's about 20 minutes on the road where we're going, so we'll take 2 bags up, and if the ground's travelling fine we might put 3 bags in for the next trip and go like that, because then it's less trips. So see you in a bit. Right, so we're up on some silage ground, just setting up the spinner here. So as I was saying, this spinner, although it looks identical to ours, isn't quite the same. Ours has got the section control every 2 meters on the machine, so you've got 12 sections, 6 either side, so that when you come to your triangles and your short works, you're not overspreading. This one you can spread either on or one section on, one section off. It's got 2 sections, so either side of the machine. But I'm just setting up my work monitor here and resetting that. Okay, I need to put my border disc down. That's down. I need to lower it to the right height, which is there, lock that. One thing I did before I brought the machine up here was I changed it to 1,000 speed. Ours runs on 1,000 speed, and I've got all this preset.
Reach over Kieran and pull the bit back from the side. Reach
I got it all set for 1,000 speed. It's just as simple as you pull the shaft off the spreader end and put it on the other shaft that's on the spreader. So that's all on there now. Turn the auto track on so we know what field we're in, which we do. There's that one all ready. Nothing else to do but spread, I suppose. So power shaft on, rev limiter on, flat out. The other thing I got set up differently on this one is because ours has got the section control and it's a very slightly higher spec, you can set all your spread settings on the screen. This one there's two handles on the outside of each disc that you've got to go and pull depending on what spread setting. So, but that's not too bad. This is some farm silage ground. You see there's a pile of dung here on our right. As we go past, that'll be spread up here after first cut. I'm going to try and get on that pretty quick this year. Sort of as the forager comes out, we'll come up the next couple of days and spread it if we can. The other thing this one doesn't have is the ability to recognise the border because of the lack of section control on it of the field, so you can spread over the hedge if you're not careful, whereas ours, you've got your border of your field, it won't spread past your border. So for the section control to work on this one, you've got to be spreading less than half a spread width, so less than 12 metres. So it will chuck it 12 metres that way, 12 metres that way, unless you've only got, you know, less than 12 metres to spread. You've got to spread it all one side. My one worry is when I do the science ground, you know, I like that to be really specific, just because of what it is. And the section control gives you that. It's like now we're overlapping on the left a bit because I went slightly too far into the corner, because normally it wouldn't spread that. I should have just got out and opened up the hopper cover so I can see a bit better in the machine. So I can see if one side's going to run out before the other. I'm just going to set the iPad up here. I do have to stop it though when I turn on the screen because I overlap my border and it will spread that. It won't shut himself off. Which is slightly annoying, but can't do a lot about that. Right, so one side's run out there, and there is 40 kilos left in the other side, so we'll stop that there. What I'm going to do is make a note of the fuel, because it will record me driving home how much fuel I'm using. So, go to our work monitor. So we use 2.6 litres of fuel there, spreading that bit. And then what we'll do is reset it again when we come up in a minute and tell us again. Right, so head for home. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. John's taking full advantage of it in getting some cattle outside. Just loading them up now. You'll see the tractor and box as we go around the corner here. So he's taking the cattle up sort of where we were spreading fertiliser on a bit further. Did have one of our 6.6s break down at the weekend. There's an idler, I think John said. So there was an idler on the fan belt, and which meant it was getting very hot. Right, put some more fert in. Right, so we just got back up to the field, so we'll find our guidance page. Go and find where we left off. Spin round onto our line. And there we are. So now what I'm going to do is just reset the work monitor again, because it will have fuel usage on it. So we've used 10 litres of fuel getting home and back. So we'll reset that to 0 again. I think we're ready. Right, off we go. See here, we're going to get a fair bit of overlap if I bring it on this screen so you can see. All this dark blue is getting overlapped, whereas the section control, you wouldn't have that. It would turn on 2 metre sections at a time. And now this is getting overlapped. Because as soon as it finds a piece on the field that it hasn't spread, that whole side of the spreader, either left or right, is turned on. In terms of this field, the amount of extra fertiliser that you'll be using is probably very little. But if you multiply that up over the farm over the year, you know, you end up using a lot more fertiliser than you can get away with. Just from reduced overlap. We're not spreading, well, we're spreading at 230 kilos a hectare. If you were spreading multi-cut sulphur at, you know, 350, or even lime at 500 kilos a hectare, you know, it soon adds up, or you overlap to quite a lot of product. So this is where you really notice it, when you've got a whole long strip of the field that you're going to be overspreading on. That would just be turned off with the section control. I know it's going to work out about right here in a minute, and there'll be another little thin piece we have to do again in a minute. Got enough fert in the spreader to sort of go back up the top of the field, and then we'll have to go and we get another load. Just got to keep an eye on it because it's loaded unevenly. There's a lot more in one side of the spreader than the other. Right, so someone in the last video asked me why I don't run the tractor in auto on the road. I just find it changes gears too often, and always at the wrong time. So if I put it into auto now, right, we're in 6C, and normally I would have gone up a gear by now, waiting for the revs all the time. And then I find it's not so bad when you've got something like the spreader on the back. If you're pulling a trailer, especially one that's loaded, you always change down a gear a bit before you need to give yourself the oomph to keep going. Whereas this thing, I'm sure you can set it all on the computer, but this thing will it'll wait to a predetermined rev and then change down a gear. And like at a junction here, we put the foot brake on, and it'll knock us right back down to our start gear, which is in the wrong range. And then like there, it takes ages to change between the ranges in auto. I just prefer to drive it in manual mode. It's not like it's a difficult task. I've only got to nudge the lever forward. There's no big stick to be changing. There's no clutching to do. It is literally, you want to go faster, nudge it forward, and you want to go slower, you pull it back. Also, if you're wondering why there's a makeshift spade on the front of the weight, it's just so I know where the front of the weight block is for going in and out of gateways and that sort of thing. Yep, sunglasses time. My eyes are getting sore from looking at the sun, so I just adjusted is what I'm trying to say. So I just adjusted the spreader slightly. That's a mouthful. I just adjusted the spreader. It was very slightly off level. People everywhere. Yeah, the spreader was very slightly off level. Only like half a turn of the link arm, so just got that one squared up. Today's the day you can go and have a barbecue with your mates. Lockdown is beginning to ease. And the weather's nice as well, so I'm assuming we're all going to be back in lockdown next week because everyone will be meeting everyone. They give a whole week of nice weather, so hopefully plenty of time to get the spreading that I want to do done. We've also got the wheat to spray at the end of the week, so we'll do that. The plan tomorrow is to finish off where I am. The oats that we sprayed in the end of the last video, that one's particular fert, not a lot, just 35 kilos of nitrogen a hectare, so 100 kilos of product. So we'll give that a tickle. Right, we just got back to the yard. We've just dropped the spreader off. Thank you to anyone who just dropped into the live video, or the live stream, whatever you call it. That was a good bit of fun. I haven't done one of those before, so we'll have to do one of them again at some time. Just going to hook on the wagon for the morning. We're tracking it down at the minute because one of our 6.6s, as I said earlier, has got a idler that needs replacing. So this one is deputising as the wagon tractor. And then once it's done with tomorrow feeding, it'll go back on the spinner again. So we're off for the night. Right, so this is our Triolet feed wagon, in case You guys haven't seen it before? Got my sunglasses on in the shed now, which is a bit annoying, but here's a control box. So all you've got to do is put the power shaft on. Remember to pick up the leg, because I always forget to do that. He's on like a hydraulic jack thing, but you can put them up on the pin as well. And then there's just a couple of hydraulic pipes and a brake coupler and the electrics. So obviously the tractor's turned off, so no danger of us getting caught up in anything. You might be able to hear the sheep in the background. Lambing is in full swing now. A lot of the science sheep have lambed. The farm sheep have started lambing as well. Bruce and Rex and Andy are all fairly busy, and Debs. Abby even had a go last night at lambing one. Now normally one of these would be a return, but the return on this tractor is bigger because the return pipe on the sprayer is so big, so the coupling on this one is the next size up a pipe, so can't use it. So you just have to put them both in the same spool, which is not ideal, but it works. Brakes. What else we got here? The all important bit of string goes over the top. The light cable somewhere, there he is. You've got to have your side lights turned on this one to get the screen to work. And then the control box will just loop in like that. So I was hoping to show you guys where this belt would let go, but I don't know whether I can be able to look in there or not. Well, the belt hasn't let go, so will it? See that? All chewed itself to pieces. So John's got a new one ordered, and the belt should go in underneath, like so. This is the genuine John Deere bonnet holder. But hopefully that's just a case of swapping that pulley out, or that idler, and it'll be jobs are good. So hopefully that's a quick fix. The fert spreader, obviously not quite such a quick fix with needing a new motherboard, but what can you do? Let's go and show you quickly the fert spreader and a couple of the controls on the outside of it, which are a bit different to ours. It's an absolutely gorgeous evening. Go home and have dinner in the garden, I think. It's almost like I need some patio furniture or something. As I say, it's exactly the same as ours. It's an exact TO, but ours just says geo spread underneath because it's got all the section control and everything on it. I don't know what the best way is here for the sun, but that's got the border disc, so that's no good. In under here, there's these two levers, 1, 2. So ours has the top one still. That's if you spread in a really low rate of fertiliser, you close it so that only one disc opens at a time instead of 3. But this one here, the numbers A through to U, and then normally on ours you just got that on the screen. You can choose what letter to set it on. On this one you just got to put the handle in the right place, but that's no big deal. We can do that for a time. So hopefully ours won't be too long till it's back with us. But missing the mud guards here, so that's where ours has gone wrong, in underneath that one. Ours has got 2 big mud guards that come right down. Stop any muck getting at that, because you're not supposed to spray water on that, I think. Yeah, that even says don't spray water on there. So. Building work's getting on. I'll show you that properly when it's sort of safe enough to go in there. But yeah, other than that, we're done for the day. So thank you guys for watching. There's a big announcement coming soon. It might well be able to announce by the time this video comes out, but I'm not 100% sure, so follow my socials in the link below for make sure you see that one. And yeah, see you on another video very soon. Cheerio.